Thank you. You touched on this, but is there anything else you'd like to say about reaching your voting universe right now, given COVID? Any particulars about your digital strategy?
Yeah, so we have identified a universe of persuadable independents, right? So people who are registered independent, but on prior campaigns run by other Democrats, have it be for the governor's race in 2018, or the congressional race in 2018, or another state house or state senate race in 2018 or 2016, right? The VAN database, the Democratic database of voter research has identified, right, has knocked on these doors, has communicated with these people, have put in tags for them on, how partisan are they, or how do they align on our issues, or how do they align with a particular Democratic or Republican candidate. And by the history of all of these campaigns aggregated into this voter file, right, all of their responses historically have given them a voter score based on all of that data, right? Then what we do is we say we want to talk to independent voters who have a data file that says they are 60% or more likely to vote for the Democrat in a race because of their prior communication with canvassers and phone bankers previously. And so that universe, we loaded into our voter file. And I know that you work with Ore, the sister district organizing manager, and she loads that into your phone banking universe, and we start calling through that list of persuadable independent voters. We do the same thing for Democrats who are less likely to turn out to vote. So in that same voter file, you can say, I want to identify Democrats who have voted in 2 of the last 3 elections, have voted at least in the last presidential, and at least 1 of the last 2 non-presidential races, right? So these are less active Democrats, but Democrats nonetheless, right? And with them, the strategy and the script is a little different than the independents, right? Because it's not that they're not a Democrat and they don't align most necessarily with our issues, but they are less likely to actually get out to vote. Now, even more so than just phone banking and postcard writing, we are trying to then also engage with these voters to apply to vote by mail, so that obviously these voters are less likely to stand in line to vote in the first place. We know that based on the data, and we are also communicating to them, here is the link or here is the website to go and sign up to receive your ballot at home. Doesn't mean you have to vote at home, but it gives you the possibility to do that and the flexibility to understand that if you can't make the line, if you can't make it on the day of election, you can just fill in your ballot and mail it into the Department of Elections.
Great.
And so that's the importance now. And obviously we can't canvass. So as many times as we can go through those phone numbers, again, a 10% answer rate, right? And so every round of calls that we do, it'll pull out those that we've actually talked to and only keep in those that we left the voicemail or that was busy or someone who didn't answer. And then each round of those calls that we do will get more and more communication to voters. And then once we get closer to the election the last 6 weeks or the last 4 weeks after the absentee ballots or the vote by mail ballots have dropped, then we get everyone that we've talked to historically from now, right, at the end of the campaign and make sure they've made a plan to go and vote. And so right now we're doing the hard work of identifying people based on calling them and having a phone call with them. And then once we've identified a couple thousand people, the last 4 weeks of the campaign, it's just going through everyone we've talked to. So it's not going to be, aggressive or voters that have never heard us or our name before. It's voters that have heard us before. And then now our job is not to inform them and get data from them to put in our voter file, but now it's to get them to make sure that they've actually gone to go out to vote. And again, in a race where in 2016, it was decided by 56 votes, and in 2018 was decided by just 1,200 votes, a couple thousand voters identified now will make all the difference come October, November.